What's up guys, Barry Gaming here today with more Idle Heroes, and today we're going to do something a little bit different. I've seen so many questions and so many people asking, who should I level up, who should I pick as my first E5? I've seen a lot of different answers going around. I wanted to put out there what I think my ideal heroes are. To be the first ones you take to E5 and just rush straight to E5, they'll give you the best early game progression. And I'll kind of go over why I think certain ones are better than other ones. To me, there's three that are at the top that are pretty interchangeable, but I'll tell you why I rank them in a certain order. So yeah, let's jump into it overall. The way that we're kind of grading these heroes is first Sealand. Sealand is by far the most important part of early game. Being able to clear as high as possible means that when you smash, you get more 4-star shards. What that means is you will be able to create more food and get more heroes at a faster pace so that you can power up your elite heroes, mainly your main carry. But the first three we're going to go over, they are very, very good. They are the best solo carries in Sealand, and that's why we rank them there. A few others we'll mention too as well. They're not as good in Sealand, but they have other advantages. And then I'll give you a couple options at the end if you just have horrible luck. You can't get the hero copies you need. They're okay alternatives for that part. But Sealand for me is the number one most important part of the game. The second most important part is your guild raid. So, very, very important part of early game is getting your guild tech up. Guild tech gives so many bonuses to your HP, attack, speed, crit, everything. It is very crucial to level this up quick because your heroes are going to gain a lot of power by maxing out your guild tech. Now, I wouldn't really worry about the second tier guild tech until you're pretty much done with your main guild tech. There's exceptions to that, like me. I mean, we're literally building a warrior only account, so all we have is warrior and priest, and we have almost maxed out our entire warrior secondary tech. New players, don't even touch that. I feel like unless you're doing it for like anti-mage, anti-ranger, things like that for Sealand, it's not worth investing. If you're doing it to specifically push Sealand, go for it. So Sealand, number one, definitely the most important part of the game for me, early game. Second is your PvE, which is your guild boss, broken spaces. You'll just be able to power your team up that much more. I say broken spaces as well, mainly because monster materials. They're very hard to come by early in the game, but if you're able to clear a decent amount of, broken spaces, you can get more and more monster materials. You get more gold, more spirit, artifact shards. They all add up very, very quickly. So I feel like that's the next big important part of the game. Next, I would have to say is Aspen Dungeon. Not necessarily have to get to death or anything like that, but definitely to Hell 1 so that you can buy from the shop. You'll be able to get extra profit orbs. You'll be able to spend your gold on wishing coins, things like that. Early game, you can even buy the 50 specific faction hero shards, 5-star hero shards for 1,000 gems. If you have a lot, that's an option. I think it's a very good investment early game because between your Sealand and your event raid, you're going to really struggle because early on in event raid, you're not getting many 4-star shards. It's really not worth it to even get the extra smashes until you get a little further down. And then you're getting tons of food. As you see, we do our max smashes every day. 4-star fodder is so important in the early game. After that, I would probably rank Brave Trials as the next important, just because if you can manage on an early server, get a very good solo carry, you can clear Night and possibly get those elite hero copies. So just to state this, it's very, very good to get your light and dark hero copies from Brave Trial. As a new player, and especially if you're free to play, I would not even think of touching light and dark heroes at all. I would focus all my energy in getting 2 to 3 E5s, which is going to take you a year to 2 years. It's going to take a while, especially free to play. Light spenders, maybe not as long. It's still going to take a bit to get an E5 though. I mean, if you're a heavy spender, do what you want. If you're a heavy spender, light and dark, go at it. This guide's really not for you. It's more for the I need to focus on one goal and work towards it. And lastly is PvP. PvP doesn't give you that amazing rewards compared to other parts of the game. Yes, it is the easy part of the game that you can always play as long as you have tickets, but as far as progression goes, it's not that important. It is important because you can get heroic scrolls and things like that and profit orbs from the Trial of Champion, but overall, not super important in my eyes. Other people might disagree. This is what I think. So now that we've stated what our guidelines are and what we think the most important parts of the game are, let's go through the heroes. To me, at number 1 is definitely going to be Penny. Penny is amazing in Sealand. She's one of the few heroes in game that can pretty much solo Sealand up to Sealand 20 with a Phoenix pet. And granted, if you're starting out, get a Phoenix pet. Trust me. But Penny can be very, very good. If you build her right, she needs to be built for crit, for PvP. She probably needs to be built for speed, but early game you can do crit as well. But if you get the right crit, you get an anti-warrior artifact, you can be a god in Sealand. That'll get you so much progression. Granted, she does drop off in the late game, especially at the end game. At the end game, she's hard countered very severely, but early and mid game she is very, very strong. Even late game a little bit, end game she drops off, but she is very, very good PvE damage. So beyond Sealand, you'll be doing good on guild raid bosses. You'll do decent, I'd say, even in broken spaces as well. Aspen Dungeon, she's okay. She's more of a node breaker for anytime you come across a healing wave. Penny is usually, you want to use Penny on that. She has trouble because she doesn't have a healing sustain to really push through hell, but she should get you to hell, maybe even hell 50 as a benchmark, and at that point getting to death isn't super important. You don't get that many extra resources every smash every time it comes up, so it's decent. Brave Trials, she's very, very strong. Why? Because it's PvP. Yeah, I mean, it's self-explanatory. She just crits and wipes out entire teams. I'm sure you've seen it plenty of times. It's just, she is overall one of the best. Now, for our second pick, I had a really tough time picking between these next two, but my second pick would be Horace. He is another one. He can get up to solo Sealand 18 pretty much right now with luck. It's not too hard. You don't need any pay-to-win artifacts, nothing like that. You just throw fearless armor on him, build him to be tanky, build him with a block HP stone, and he can be very good overall in the entire game. He is very, very good in Sealand. We've kind of already stated that. Sealand 18. He is really good in PvE. His PvE damage is amazing, and he will be your slot 1 tank and do amazing. Aspen Dungeon, he's okay. He'll definitely get you to hell, probably even hell 50. He does struggle above hell 50 trying to kill healer waves, so you might not get to death. But again, not a huge deal, but he's still good. And he's just, I'd say he's above average overall in PvP and Brave Trials. It really depends on how fast your whole server's kind of going. If it's just 1e5 versus 1e5, he can be super, super strong. As you get more into the mid game where you have multiple E5s, he might drop off a little bit, but overall he's a solid hero. Now, the next one, the reason why I bumped him down below Horace is because he struggles in PvE damage. So he is another hero that is extremely good in Sealand. Solo CThugha can get you to Sealand 16, 17, right around that area. No problem. Build some 6-star destroyers with him. Make him a little tanky. He will just bleed and burn everybody every time he gets hit. Put him slot 1. Let him do his work. So Sealand, he's very, very good. He's right up there, just a little bit under Horace, I would say. For PvE, he's not that great. He's not a very strong PvE hero. And if you do build him to be PvE, I would recommend probably not using too many other dot heroes, because his active here will consume all the other dots from other heroes. That may sound good and make his damage very high, but you might be losing out on damage because he actually has a damage cap on his active, so you might actually be lowering your overall damage. And in PvE, you're going 15 rounds, so you want those bleeds and burns to have their time to work their way out and deal damage. As far as Aspen Dungeon, as you've seen, go check the video we did probably about a month ago. He's a god in Aspen Dungeon. He can easily take you to death 1. He's just so tanky. He heals from one of his other passives here that when a target that's burning or bleeding hits him, he will, where is it? Is it the last one? Yeah, he actually heals. So that's really, really good. He'll heal from anything taking damage from burning or bleeding heroes. Is very, very good. A god in Aspen. Simple as that. He's also early game a god in both Brave Trials and in PvP. Granted, if you're going up against Pennies, it's really hard because Penny has a faction advantage against him. But if you're going against a Valkyrie, Horace, since he is immune to those dots, he doesn't take the damage, and he has very, very good healing. So his damage applies when someone hits him. He puts a burn and bleed on 3 different targets. That damage ticks initially as well. So you can literally attack once, and then the whole other team attacks you. They just kill themselves on your burns and bleeds. So overall, very good hero. Slightly below the other 2 in Sealand. A lot below them in PvE, but then better than them, I think, in my opinion, in every other aspect as far as Aspen, Brave Trial, and PvP. So the next 2 are, they're kind of a toss-up. They're 2 different play styles. Me personally, I'd say the 4th best one to go for is Garuda right now. She's a very solid hero, and no matter where you put her, no matter what. The first 3, I'd probably call them the tier 0 heroes. These 2, I'd say the tier 0.5 for early game first E5 heroes. Garuda is very, very good, but she's only average, I would say, in Sealand. I think solo, she'll probably get you to Sealand 13, 14, maybe 15 with some support like Rosa's or Oberon, something like that. Still not bad, though. A good candidate, and if you can't get copies of the other guys, Garuda is definitely an option to go for. In PvE, she is by far a god tier unit. She is... The more I talk about it, the almost I feel like I should put her in tier 0, but because her Sealand suffers so much, I bumped her down a tier to 0.5 instead of 0. She does the most damage in PvE, second to no one besides a scary army. Once you get 2+ scaries, you kind of start out damaging Garuda. Once you get to the 3rd and 4th, it's just no competition. But as the solo hero, solo damage, Garuda by far does the most. She's the 2nd best. No one really even comes close. Maybe like Tara now. Tara might come close, but I'm not even going to really talk about light dark heroes. You should not focus on them as your first E5. But God PvE damage, really, really good. She's okay in Aspen Dungeon because of one of her passives that allows her to heal when she kills a target. A lot of times at the end of the fight, you'll use your active, kill all the targets, you'll heal up to full. It's very good. She isn't amazing though. I think she could probably get you to Hell 50 with some luck. Probably not Death 1. But overall, that's really good. That's kind of all you need. Hell 1, Hell 50, those are the benchmarks for early game you want to try to hit with your first E5. And then when it comes to PvP and Brave Trials, she's simply a god. Now, she's not a solo hero. If you just put her up against an entire 6 team in Brave Trials that's weaker, you'll probably win, but you will take damage too. If you do build her for Brave Trials, I would make a bunch of like 3-star level 40s that you can just throw in there as fodder to proc her, you know, passive attack to attack all the targets. But overall in PvP, she is a god. You've seen my Petrify Meme Team account. You've seen the people building Garuda's early game. Their active just wipes out anybody. Even if I'm an E2 and she's a 9 or 10 star, just obliterates your E2. So that is something you really have to take into consideration. Honestly, I would have put her at tier 0 if she had a better Sealand, but because she struggles in Sealand so much, I kind of bumped her down. The next hero, the 5th hero on my list, is Valkyrie. So yeah, she's getting a lot of flack. A lot of people saying she's, you know, everybody's regressing her, but early game, she is still one of the best heroes you can build. She's very, very strong. Although Sealand, she's going to max out probably about Sealand 10 is the best she can do. She's not a PvE hero. She's PvP, but she can be a decent first hero. So you're going to really suffer by not being able to push in Sealand too far. PvE damage wise, she's horrible. She can do decent early game because she has a lot of healing, but overall damage wise, you're going to slowly start getting beaten out by the people who have Penny, Horace, CThugha, Garuda, all of them. You're going to fall behind, not get as many guild coins. It's up to you. If you want more of a PvP focus, maybe early game you can, but even then Valkyrie falls off late game really hard as well. Similar to Penny, but Penny is just so good in Sealand. So Valkyrie not good in Sealand. She's okay. PvE damage below par, not great. She is a god in Aspen though. She is a solo hero that will get you to death 1 with some luck. She's really bad against healer waves in Aspen, but she just simply doesn't die. She will eventually get you to death 1. That is very, very good. And then in PvP and Brave Trials, she is very strong as a solo. Just throw her in there. No gear even. Match up with everybody else. You'll probably clear Knight every single time. No issues at the beginning of the game. So overall, my 5th pick in tier 0.5 with Garuda, Valkyrie. Definitely below Garuda though by a decent amount, I would say. I'd almost push Valkyrie down to tier 1 just to spread them out, but yeah, I had some struggles here. I wanted to give a couple more options if you cannot get one of those top 5 heroes, as build them, but don't rely on them and don't think they're going to carry you through the game. If you have just absolutely horrible luck, you can't get Penny, Horace, CThugha, Garuda, Valkyrie, you can't get any of them. I will say, because they do like handing out copies, Vesta can be a decent first E5 hero. And I'm saying only consider Vesta if you absolutely cannot build the other heroes. Ultimately, I would try to build Vesta to 10 star and hold her there to see if you get other copies. If you get one of the other heroes, I would take Vesta and feed her as a 10 star to make one of those other heroes in E3, 4, 5, whatever. Use her as food. But if for some reason you just absolutely cannot get copies, she can do decent. She'll get you a ways up in Sealand because she has high crit, high burst damage. She has some healing, self-sustain. She'll be good there. PvE, she'll be okay as well. She'll be pretty good in Aspen. I feel like Vesta can probably get you to hell. Haven't really seen it or researched it much, but I feel like with her kit, she can get you to hell pretty easily. And again, she's decent in PvP, and decent in Brave Trials. Overall, you're probably not going to want her as an E5, but like I said, if you absolutely need to, you can. The other hero I will say as a probably as well, they're both probably down in tier 2, tier 3, maybe tier 1. It's hard to say exactly where I'd put them, but they're definitely in this order. The last one I would pick is Signet. So he's below average in Sealand, that's for sure. But he does amazing PvE damage and can be your slot 1 tank. So as far as getting guild coins, even Sealand, he is very, very, very strong in PvE damage. So that's why I do put him on this list. But again, he doesn't do very well in Sealand. I'm pretty sure he's horrible in Aspen Dungeon. I don't think he has no healing. He counterattacks. His whole point is getting hit. I don't think he's going to be that good for you. And again, he is not a good PvP or Brave Trials hero. The only reason why I'm putting him on the list is they've been giving him away a ton, just like Vesta was for a while there. But he does do amazing PvE damage. So he is an option, that is for sure. The only other thing I would say is, outside those heroes, there really are not any strong contenders. Maybe a Unimax, but Unimax is so strongly pivoted towards PvP. He's not going to get you far. If you're not picking a hero that's going to do good in Sealand, you really are going to struggle. You could say you could build Scary, but like I said before, if you want to go back and look at how to build a Scary army, the first thing I say is don't build Scary first. Build someone who can get you progression, then rotate into Scaries. He's just not that good early game. Dentalian and Berea can be okay. They could probably get you to like Sealand 7, 8, 9, 10. Dentalian can be good as a tank. He's easy to get. Same with Berea. If they're your last option, go for it. If not, I would really hold off. And besides that, we've covered 3 of the forest heroes. Heartwatcher, you definitely don't want to take to E5, but you want to get her to 9 star, 10 star, and just hold her there. If she's the hero that's highest on your team, you're doing something wrong. Your food needs to be going to your carry. Keep Heartwatcher on the sideline. A little bit less important, but Cruce is another one early game you might want to hold on to, just because he does so good as far as As you know, buffing, healing, he can be very good in PvP as well. The last hero I'd say, as well as Dantalion and Berea, is King Barton. He's fallen off hard ever since the E5 meta. He was amazing in the E3 meta. His counterattack did so much damage, but now he's fallen off. But I will say he can get you to Sealand 8 to 10 as well. So again, if you just can't get those main copies, he is an option. I'm not going to go too much into him because he's not good in PvE at all. He's decent at tower, but yeah, overall, I feel like that's what you need to decide to pick. Penny, Horace, CThugha. Any one of those, I feel like they're pretty interchangeable. They're all strong heroes. Honestly, just pick the one you like the most. Beyond that, Garuda and Valkyrie, they're decent, they're good. Garuda is the flavor of the month right now. Everybody loves her for late game PvP. As you've seen on Petrify Meme Team, she's still good. Early game as well, but she will struggle compared to those other three in Sealand. Valkyrie will severely suffer in Sealand, but again, she does excel in PvP in the Aspen Dungeon. You kind of just have to weigh what your value is to that. Again, Sealand, in my opinion, is the most important part of the game. When you start building a hero, the first thing you would think is not, oh, I like that hero's cool, is what are the top ones for Sealand, and pick the one out of those you like the best, or the one that you just simply get copies thrown at you. So if you're lucky with Penny, go for Penny. Same with Horace or CThugha. This week, grab a Horace copy. You know, it's amazing from the chest. But I hope this was pretty informative for you guys. I hope I didn't kind of glaze over anything too much. And I really hope I kind of explained why I think and I rank the heroes this way. I know other people are going to have different opinions, that's for sure. The other content creators are going to weigh out and have different values for different things. But early game, first E5 hero, this is definitely my list since I weigh so much of value on Sealand. So I hope this was informative for you. I hope you guys enjoy this. Throw a like, leave a comment, let me know who you're building as your first E5. Let me know if you think differently too. Let me know who you think would be another person we should add to this list if I missed it. But I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in the next one.